later on in today's episode, once I have more room. Oh boy. Recently, we built an auto wool farm cottage, and we went on a daring adventure into the deep dark where we set off 3 wardens and somehow made it back alive. We also were able to find Swift Sneak 3 and added that to our leggings, and we were also able to find the ward armor trim. In some off-camera time, while I was testing out different armor trims and colors, I accidentally added some armor trim onto my pants, which ended up looking like I just have blue string around me, so we went down to the XP farm in order to get enough levels to remove the armor trim. One leggings combination later, and we've got our pants back with no armor trim on them. Now today, I want to check another task off the task board, and I'm thinking that I want to take on the tree farm for exports task, which means that today we are going to be building an automatic tree farm build, and this will be the first time I'm attempting to build like a TNT duper redstone farm, so this could be interesting, but I did want to challenge myself to attempt new farms in this world, so we'll just see how this goes. Now, as far as placement for this automatic tree farm, I do think that having it be along the water's edge by the docks would be perfect, since then we can just add the wood into the little market stall and then they can load it up onto the ships. But I think right somewhere in here is where we'll put this automatic tree farm. Now, the design that I'm using is going to cause us to have to either build up like 50 blocks and have it be a 10 by 11 space, or we can do the more simple task and kind of dig down underneath the ground and then place a cute little kind of lumber yard and house on top of it. So once we get the exact placement of our little lumber yard and house, then comes the most painstaking part of this whole thing, which is digging down 50 blocks into a 11 by 10 square. But with the magic of editing, I combined all of the footage of me digging down into a few seconds so that you don't have to suffer as much as I did. All right, we've got our hole pretty much covered up. I need to grab torches though, because otherwise I'm making an underground mob farm with the space where we're going to build the auto tree farm. Now, this is definitely probably a lot more space than I needed, but I would rather have it be lower down to the ground, and then we can make a little chute out of ice and a dispenser and some water that will shoot all of the tree parts up to the lumber yard. So I'm not too concerned about it being too far down there, but what we're gonna do is start collecting up the supplies to actually make the spruce automatic farm, and then we're also gonna grab some torches so it's not a mob farm down there. So we'll first grab some torches. Then we spent the next bit of time collecting up all the resources that we'll need in order to create this automatic wood farm. All right, I've collected everything that we'll need for the most part, minus the scaffolding, and I need additional hoppers, which unfortunately means we are going on another quick little adventure to collect up some more iron, and we also need to wait for more of this bamboo to grow, and I've been slowly cutting it down as I have come across it, so this was gonna take us a while, so I think our best bet is to just go and get us some more iron. Now, luckily for us, when we dug out the pit, we collected up a bunch of iron ore, so if we take our efficiency 3 pickaxe, I'm hoping this should be more than enough to get us the rest of our hoppers. One thing that I was thinking about is how much more convenient it would be to have an iron farm, but you know, maybe we just keep digging giant holes and getting us all of our iron that way, because this actually did pretty good for us so far. Or maybe we'll just dig some holes in the ground, because honestly, this is a pretty good haul. We got a stack and a half pretty much, a little bit over there. That should be more than enough to make the rest of our hoppers. Which then unfortunately means we actually have to make a redstone farm contraption, which is never my strong suit, but I mean, you gotta love a little redstone with red, right? Or at least, you know, you have to suffer through a little redstone with red, because ironically, that is not why my name is Red. It is just because of the hair color. I know, very anticlimactic. But if I was a redstone channel, do you know how perfect the name would be if that were true? If I was just a redstone channel named Red, I feel like I kind of just need to get better at redstone just for the sake of the name. But, you know, let's be real, that is not going to happen. Now, in order to make the rest of our scaffolding, we also need to find string, which means probably going and looking for a mine shaft, and I think I came across one somewhere over here. So we'll let that smelt, we'll let that grow, and let's go find us some more spooters for their spooter webs. And as luck would have it, my OBS settings got messed up, so instead of a peaceful montage of me collecting spider webs, OBS also recorded my desktop audio, so that means all of my Minecraft audio also has the TV show Bones overlaid on that, since I've been watching through that lately, as you can see from the following clips.
For or against? It's over. I don't want any guess from the victim.
So in order to prevent this video from fully getting any copyright claims, I'll just replace the audio from the TV show with my own audio. Snip, clip, this is mine. Remove some planks in case there's creepers around the corner. Quickly light this up and collect all these strings. All right, we've got 2 stacks and 7 of string. We've got a bit more bamboo growing, and hopefully the remainder of the iron we needed to have smelted up will give us enough hoppers to keep going with our adventure. And yes, okay, we have enough to move on. Okay, perfect. Now we just get a bunch of wood and make enough chests so that we can make our hoppers. All right, with the scaffolding and hoppers, we now have everything we need to start moving over to the site. I'm actually so nervous to make this contraption because it's redstone and I'm not always the best with it, but you know, we do what we gotta do, right? So let's prepare for a little redstone with red montage. Now, as unconventional as it might be to do what I'm about to do, I'm gonna just throw down all of the items I'm using for this down into the pit, and then I will pick them up once I have more room. Oh boy. Oh. Well, I guess I'm picking them up right now, and thank goodness for Featherfall 4. Oh my gosh, this is like 50 blocks. Okay, well, at least we know that the Featherfall is very efficient. Now just pick up the rest of our items and let's hop back down into the pit, and I'll go in the water this time. And now it's time for some redstone with red. Yay! The TNT duper is working. It took a little bit for me to figure out why it wasn't working, but it was because I had a line of stone in front of the scaffolding. So just by removing that, I was able to solve the problem. Let's turn off the TNT duper for now, because the next bit that we have to do is set up a bone meal dispenser above this area right here, and then we can test out the auto wood farming little contraption. I will say I was a little bit nervous when this wasn't all working, but just by removing the stone in front of the scaffolding so that the redstone has to travel up only the scaffolding solved my problem. So depending on the location you try to make this, just keep that in mind. And now we just work on getting the little bone meal dispenser set up. Temporary block, observer facing down, redstone dust, and just to make sure that the stone around this doesn't interfere, I'm just gonna peel some of this back. Get rid of the temporary block, and then the dropper faces downwards. There we go. And we quickly add the lever to turn that off. Remove this block, pressure plate, and as just an example, if I flick the lever, diorite should start coming into my inventory, and this is working. Now we're gonna go back up to the surface and grab a bunch of bone meal and test this baby out. Well, 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 looks like we got some friends checking the docks out. Hello, guys. Let me just get you guys, get rid of you. Thank you very much, and get rid of you. And let's see what kind of potion we got. Oh, Bad Omen 5. Wow, okay, we'll take that. They also messed up my little pumpkin stand. How rude. Now we can convert a bunch of this bone meal and add it into the dropper. And we'll set up a separate chest to have the extra bone meal and the extra bones and everything. Okay, let's get the tree. And let's test this baby out. All right, I'm not exactly sure what I changed, but whatever I did, moving the repeaters back and forth and tweaking it, I was able to finally get the TNT to explode a full tree, which is exactly what the farm needed. So we'll just sit here for a while and see what we can get for supplies. There we go, bone meal is going, and we're working. It's officially working. Okay, we're gonna turn this little thing off for now. I think that should be good. We've gotten a decent amount. Let's just see what we got. We got 3 stacks and 7, bunch more of our spruce saplings, bunch of sticks. Not too shabby, I'll take that. But I think for now, we'll just leave all of the extra bone meal inside the chest. We'll leave the spruce saplings, and then we can just come back down here whenever we need to use our little auto tree farm. I'm actually so proud of the fact that I actually made this and it works. And I'm very happy with this. So now what we need to do is just take a bunch of the supplies back up to the surface that we've had down here and continue on with today. And we just hop up to the surface and it is nighttime. Let's quickly sleep. Oh yes, good morning, Mr. Zombie. How are you today? Well, I guess not doing too. No way. Chicken jockey? I didn't want to deal with chicken jockey or children. No, thank you. All right, come here, chicken jockey. Oh, well, at least the chicken's free. And now that we've got the machine working for the auto farm, we can fill in this hole and actually start some cute decorating. Now we're just going to drop off all the stone and resources from digging out the pit and pick up the supplies that we're going to need to build us a little lumber yard and little, I guess, like lumber house, lumber cottage. I don't really know what I would want to call it, but we need to build a little place for some shelter. All right, now we only have a little bit of mossy cobble, so I think, oop, it's starting to rain. I'm going to grab my bed, and we are just going to run along the side here to where we have this little taiga and old growth spruce, because that's where we're gonna get a bunch more of our lovely masi cobble. All right, we found the podzol, and let's collect a bunch of masi cobble so we can get to work on the lumberyard. All right, we got a stack and 22. That should be plenty. So let's go back and start working on our lumberyard. And there we go. We've got all of the items from within the Auto Spruce farm officially coming into the little cottage. So thank you for joining me for this segment of Redstone with Red. Now let's just stop doing that and get to actually decorating this cozy little place. And a short time later, and me forgetting to press record, we have a beautiful dockside lumberyard and storage house. And I think this is so cute. I decided to put a potted sapling along with the log that is wrapped up using the rails by every little stack, and added some lanterns and chests as well. I also decided to try using a stone cutter to kind of cut into the log. And I mean, it's not exact, right? But it does the trick, and you kind of get the concept, and I think it's very fun. Then on the inside here, we've just got barrels, and whenever we get extra tree types, we will place the sapling in the pot above it and then fill the barrel with said tree type. But we've got our dark oak over here, we've got our birch in the corner, we've got our oak wood, and of course our spruce and our pale oak. But I think this is a super cute little space. And then this is the chest that is connected to the system below it, that if I just go to the side here and turn on my night vision, this is the one that goes all the way down to help us get into the farm. So we've got all of the chests necessary. We've got some extra furnaces, crafting table, stone cutter in here for whatever else we need. There's also this upstairs area where I just added a bunch of barrels and some storage with chests, a little bookshelf in case we want to read some books while we're up here waiting for all the supplies to get brought up from the little auto farm area. But I think this is really nice. So this is our lumberyard, kind of like storage shed or facility. I don't really know what I want to call it yet, but I think it's cute. Oh, and it looks like we've got a visitor, but they're invisible. We've got an invisitor. Okay, no, that was a bad joke. Just ignore that. Sir? How? Okay, never mind. I know how. I was like, how did they get up here? It's pretty simple. Either that or they spawned up here, but they've just got a jungle sapling, which we actually haven't found yet. So maybe we'll grab a jungle sapling. I think that sounds kind of nice. And we definitely have enough emeralds to trade with our little friend. So let's bring them over. I just found a different wandering trader. Hello? Where's the... Oh my gosh, there's two? Is that even possible? Is that a glitch in the Minecraft Matrix? Because it kind of feels like it is, but we'll take these ones. I'll take some pink tulips because they're cute. And I mean, mine as well. We'll take some extra brain coral. Mine as well. I'm most excited for these little jungle saplings because that means that I can add one into here and we'll keep them in here for now. Now, when it comes to my question about my armor that I posed to you guys, a lot of you said to keep the minimal armor pack, which means that if we want to add any armor trims, they'll only be able to really show up well on the helmet or on the boots. So I think once again, we grab some color, we grab the trims, and we'll take off the helmet and the boots, and we can kind of just take a look at what the helmet would look like if we choose to add the ward trim to it. And let's see what the boots look like. Those are kind of cool as well. That could be an option. That's pretty like simple, but I do kind of like that. So maybe we'll go with that. But I did want to see, okay, we've got an amethyst cluster. If I just break this down without silk touch, I want the like purple because I think we can use, yes, amethyst can go in here. Okay, because we could use purple and have some purple lining on either of our crown or our boots. I also do usually really like how the diamonds look or quartz. So let's see how the quartz looks on our boots. Kind of cute. On our crown, actually, I kind of like how the quartz looks. Let's also try just diamond, some shades of blue, and let's try the boots. Again, shades of blue. I really think I'm being drawn to the quartz. I think that looks really cute. And part of me kind of wants to have a white and blue crown. So let's add this onto our little crown. There we go. That's actually pretty cute. I like that. Oh, that's so fun. Yes. And if I remove and go into freecam, then you can kind of see what the back of it looks like. I think that's pretty cute. I like it. I'm happy with that. I think this is a fun, it definitely shows that there are some armor trims on us. And let's see what we want to do for the boots. I feel like we might as well just do the boots in quartz. So let's just commit. And then these are our toesies with the trim on them. So we got ward trims on this set of armor, which I could honestly leave this armor here when we switch villages because we did go to an ancient city here from this village, which could be kind of nice. But now we've got one extra trim so we can duplicate it. But let's just put the remainder of everything else back in the chest and continue on with our day. And also from the back, this is what it looks like. I think it's fun. Look at that. We definitely, I think this is probably the best compromise between being able to see the armor trims and keeping the minimal armor pack texture pack on. But the next thing that I want to do is remove one of these houses. We have two left to remove before we've already upgraded all of the houses in here. Now, what I'm thinking we'll do is there's also a little pumpkin patch here because there used to be a farmer. And I had a fun idea with all of this mossy cobble and cobblestone trim. I kind of like the idea of leaving this exactly where it is and turning this into like a greenhouse. So all we would do is just add glass around the exterior, make it look a little bit more decorative, and then we'll probably remove this house right next to this pumpkin patch and kind of make a little auto pumpkin farm so that we can add the pumpkins into the market stall. Then if we just go out into freecam, we can kind of move this house here, and maybe what we'll do is we'll have the house be across from the little greenhouse, or we could just have the house be directly connected to it and just place the house up here so that this path kind of just leads to that house. But either way, we have a house to tear down and some trees, so let's just clear out some space to keep building. All right, I've cleared out some more space and we have an outline of where our house is going to go. And I do think that I'm just going to leave our little pumpkin patch as is. This will be the original one from the original little village, but I do like the idea of adding like another little pumpkin patch, but we'll make this one be more cottagecore, more cute, more organic, not in the cobblestone with the stairs and all of that. So we'll leave this here. We'll have another pumpkin patch on this side, and our house will be in the middle. So when you come up the stairs, you see all of the pumpkin vibes for our little auto pumpkin farm. As for the color palette, we are going with pretty much a similar color palette to what we have here, just reversing some. So the walls are going to be comprised of the mossy cobble, the bricks, the stone, all of that. And then we are going to be putting unstripped spruce beams in the corner. We're going to have our roof be dark oak and dark oak stripped logs. And then we are going to fill in the roof with some deep slate. So now that you know the color palette and the build vibes, let's get started. And we are taking a quick intermission to get ourselves some more oak wood, and we are going to go down and use the auto tree farm to collect up some more. So we're just going to swim down our little chute. I should really get some like frog lights or glowstone or something because it's very dark. There we go. Gotta love the night vision. Okay, let's grab some bone meal. We'll fill up our inventory so it doesn't keep spitting things out at me, and let's get some items. And if we just look inside the chest, there we go. We've got a stack and 13, which is more than enough for what I need. I've never had an auto tree farm set up, and this is literally so helpful. I am really glad that I've got the farm, but not the creepers following me. But of course, for the 4 wide trees, we're still going the manual route. All right, we're at the point where I've started to get the chests and hopper system set up because this second level is where we're going to set up our little pumpkin farm. And then we're gonna have the rails going back and forth here. We're gonna have a layer of dirt and the pumpkins, observers, and all the little redstone things up here too. But my main issue is I am once again out of iron to finish the hoppers, and so yeah, we gotta go and get some more iron. But the other thing that we are also out of is a lot of the things that I'm going to be needing today are observers, and I don't have enough quartz, which means I also have to go into the nether again. So I think what we're gonna do is first get the not so fun nether stuff out of the way, and then we'll come back and hopefully get some iron and other things. But I will bring some golden ingots just in case the piglins can give us some little nuggets, and then we can get some more iron ingots that way. We've got our piglin protection 3000 on, and we've got our bow and arrow. I'm gonna leave my helmet here just temporarily, but look how cool it looks with the trim now. Ugh, I love it. All right, let's go find us a bunch of quartz. I hope that we get a lot. We then spent the next bit of time in the nether collecting up all of the necessary quartz until we had over 5.5 stacks. Then it was time to get out of the nether and get back to building. All right, we are back in the overworld. We can put the piglin protection 3000 back, and we're gonna get back to building. We're also going to go and grab our emeralds because I needed more redstone as well. All right, let's do some trading. Hello, my buddy. Give me all your redstone, please. Thank you very much. And while we wait for them to unlock their redstone trade, we're gonna go to bed and then keep working on setting up our little auto pumpkin farm. All right, and after some decorating of the interior and getting the rest of the hoppers all set up, we have a pumpkin farm officially working so that we can export. And we've got all of our pumpkins getting collected up by the minecart, and everything in here is looking good. And since we officially completed the spruce tree farm project, we can check that off the list. And we also made our pumpkin auto farm and export, so we can check this off the list as well. So the last projects on our board are to fill up the coarse dirt and fern market stalls, as well as the potato one, make some smaller boats and a giant ship inside our harbor, and upgrade the last villager house, as well as a doghouse for Arlo, and making a wolf sanctuary. The last thing that I want to do is make a cozy little pumpkin patch right here, which does require us to get a water bucket and some hose, as well as some pumpkin seeds. We'll also convert a bunch of our dark oak into fences to create a little perimeter around our pumpkin patch. And we'll add a composter, fill up the water, and we'll get our water bucket in here, fill that in with a slab, and start creating our little pumpkin patch. And just like that, we've got a cozy little pumpkin patch, custom made across from the original pumpkin patch that the village had in it. And I would say this is a cozy pumpkin build well done. I think one of my favorite things is how you can actually see the farm working through the glass, and you can see all of the pumpkins getting funneled down into the little supply area. And since we now have the auto pumpkin farm completed, that wraps up today's episode. Thank you so much for hanging out with me as we make our first ever auto tree farm build, and we make a cozy automatic pumpkin farm. Make sure to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribed if you have not yet, and I will see you in the next video. Bye everyone!